Hello there and welcome to Weekend File. We are live in Abuja. Over the past several months, the war against security challenges has been fought with zeal and determination by the nation's security architecture, resulting in successes that guarantee protection of lives and property. This is not forgetting the contribution of well-meaning Nigerians to the fight against criminals and criminality. What is required now is the commitment of everybody in the country to see insecurity as a common problem and enemy that must be sorted out to enable the nation move forward in all spheres of national life. Now, many believe that all hands must be on deck for a more decisive action to achieve this common goal, especially now that the 2023 general elections are around the corner. Our focus on Weekend File tonight is to examine successes achieved so far, how it can be improved upon, as well as sustaining the momentum of keeping Nigeria as a peaceful and prosperous nation. As usual, we have updates from zones, while our guest is Kabiru Adamu, a security expert. I am Kenen Ima Abodike. Now the news. Let's start by telling you that the Nigerian Navy has taken delivery of a 46-meter patrol vessel donated by the People's Republic of China. At a joint handover ceremony held at the Western Naval Command in Lagos, the Nigerian Army also took delivery of high-grade military hardware. Adeni Itaiwo reports that the donation of the maritime platform is the second in 6 years as the two countries seek to deepen existing bilateral military relations.
Hoisting of the Nigerian flag to replace that of the Republic of China concluded the handover ceremony, which transfers ownership of the 46-meter patrol vessel to the Nigerian Navy. The signing of transfer document by both the Chief of the Naval Staff and representative of Chief of Army Staff to take delivery of high-grade military hardware was witnessed by Chinese ambassadors to Nigeria and representatives of both Ministers of Defense and Foreign Affairs. According to the Chinese ambassador, donation of the vessel is part of a thriving bilateral cooperation which dates back to 1971.
It is a reflection of a political relationship between China and Nigeria. Everybody recognizes without political consonance, we do not to deepen and broaden the military cooperation.
Noting that the vessel is a plus to ongoing fleet recapitalization efforts of the federal government, a grateful Minister of Defense represented said the Nigerian Navy is one vessel better positioned to deliver on its mandate of tackling threats in its maritime domain.
To further enhance and strengthen the capabilities of our Nigerian armed forces, which at the moment is very, very strong. So we can only be stronger with a relationship with a strong country like China.
The support from the People's Republic of China towards enhancing capacity of the Nigerian Navy to bolster presence within the maritime domain has been tremendous.
We look forward to more synergy and collaboration between the Nigerian Army and the People's Republic of China.
The donation of the fast patrol man of war comes 6 years after NNS Sagbama was donated to the Nigerian Navy by China in 2016. In Lagos, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
In the meantime, Africa's internet economy future, worth about $180 billion, is being threatened due to activities of cyber criminals. But actors in the financial and ICT sectors are discussing ways of mitigating cyber vulnerabilities for economic sustainability. Chimdima Ndubisi tells us more.
For every minute spent on the cyberspace is an exposure to about 200,000 cyber attacks. On average, 54 to 57 million attacks in a day. Just a weak link can shut down an ecosystem due to ransomware and malware. Nigerian businesses, mostly small and medium enterprises that drive the economy, experience an average of 2,308 attacks weekly. Public and financial institutions are not left out. Annually, Nigeria loses about $500 million to cyber crimes. Conversations here are on the future, emerging issues, and solutions in cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity often ranks low on many institutions' list of priorities. The Nigerian Data Protection Bureau has initiated the process for a new data protection bill for the country. When enacted, would help foster robust cyber ecosystem for the nation. We do need to make sure our data is always encrypted, whether it is in motion, whether it is at rest.
Robust investment in cybersecurity infrastructure is also recognized as a way of stemming the predicted 15% growth in cyber crimes, with its attendant economic losses. In Abuja, Chimdema DBC, NTA News.
The UNESCO Media and Literacy Week got to its high point with a document known as Abuja Declaration on Global Financing for Media and Information Literacy, an imperative to fight disinformation and build trust being adopted. Anthony Forson reports.
The Global Media and Information Literacy Week had stakeholders from all over the world converge on Abuja. First was President Muhammadu Buhari's message to the opening, which was clear as presented by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari.
In confronting challenges of rising misinformation, disinformation and hate speech, we must also come together to defend freedom of speech while upholding other values that we cherish. We must continue to work for a common standard that balances rights with responsibilities, to keep the most vulnerable from harm, and help strengthen and enrich our communities, and most importantly, strengthen trust and social cohesion, improving critical thinking competencies.
With this, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed opened the stage.
Our world and its leaders contend with the challenges of identifying what is true and what is false. I see the urgent need for every person to be equipped with the ability to critically evaluate and wisely use information at their disposal.
In quick succession, the delegates settled down for business. From high level to parallel plenaries, critical topics were discussed. The hybrid event had participants across the globe attending and making contributions virtually. Goodwill messages also came. This culminated in the Abuja Declaration.
The declaration is more than just a declaration. It's a framework, it's a resource, it's an action plan that we must implement. Global Media and Information Literacy Week 2022, we're standing with UNESCO for change. Media and information literacy for all to build trust is a must.
The event was, however, assessed this way.
The Abuja Declaration that multilateral organizations, our partners, UNESCO and governments, and all stakeholders must invest in funding media and information literacy.
The Abuja Declaration is key and it's important for us, it's important for UNESCO, it's important for Nigeria because this has happened here in Nigeria.
In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Now, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has presented a staff of office the recently crowned 14th Olowo of Owu Kingdom, Oba Saka Adelola Matibilola. The presentation will signal the beginning of a new era in Owu Kingdom, climax the week-long coronation and 2022 Odun Omo Olowo activities, which began on Monday, October 24, 2022. Leko Abunde reports.
Fathers from far and near joined the Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Obadedoto Aremugbadebo, to witness the presentation of instrument of appointment and staff of office to the new Olowo of Owu Kingdom, Obasaka Adelola Matemilola, by Governor Dapo Abiodun. Governor Abiodun says the academic achievements of the new monarch as senior consultant reservoir engineer no doubt will assist him to bring in more innovation capable of developing the kingdom.
Bear in mind that the KBC is an embodiment and a symbol of our collective interests personified.
The new monarch, Oba Matemilola, says he is ready to take Owu Kingdom to the next level of greatness.
We have already mapped out an ambitious agenda that is designed to usher in unity, peace, prosperity.
It will be a unifying force, not just for us in Owu, but in the entire Abuja.
All the subjects should be loyal to him. They should assist him in every way.
Oba Matemilola could not resist the display of various Owu traditions and culture as he stepped forward and danced to the Owu traditional Gbedu beats. Oba Matemilola succeeds the late 13th Olowu of Owu Kingdom, Oba Adegboyega Dosunmu. In Abeokuta, Lekun Agbonde, NTA News.
It's indeed good news as the 22-year-old Elvis Luna, who emerged winner at the Niger Delta Development Commission's talent hunt in September, has received the prize of a brand new Picanto car. Osenachi Abraham reports.
Elvis Luna is the overall winner of the maiden edition of the Niger Delta Talent Hunts that ended in September 2022. The young lad was at the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt in the company of his family and organizers of the talent hunts to claim his prize, a brand new Picanto car.
Thank you so much. God bless you, everyone.
The acting managing director NDDC, Emmanuel Audu, was pleased with the objective of the talent hunts, says it's the capacity building program of NDDC. NDDC acting MD noted that it's not all failures for the Niger Delta region, as so much has been achieved that is not reported by the media. He promised that in his time and with the collaboration of stakeholders, the negative perception about NDDC will change.
The Niger Delta region, apart from the fact that we have name comedian in Nigeria, 2 of them are from the Niger Delta. Am I lying? Name 3 singers in Nigeria, 3 of them are from the Niger Delta. Young men like this will be identified and life will be given to them. Through some of these programs, this is not the beginning and this is not going to be the end. What we seek is collaboration from our stakeholders.
He assured the youths of the region of the Commission's renewed vigor in supporting their aspirations within the intervention mandate. In Port Harcourt, Osenachi Abraham, NTA News.
The Nigerian Police Force has described as false the reports that the Federal Capital Territory was being saturated with bombs. A statement by the Force Public Relations Officer Olomuyiwa Adejobi warns against spreading falsehood as it will not do the country any good. CSP Adejobi reiterates that the Federal Capital Territory is safe and there is no imminent threat. Neither is the FCT being saturated with bombs as speculated. The PRO therefore urges residents of the FCT and Nigerians at large to disregard this fake news which was purportedly sponsored to create fear and heat up the polity. In politics, the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has held a meeting with officials of the U.S. State Department in Washington, D.C. The media advisor to the former Vice President, Paul Ibe, says the meeting, which focused primarily on enhancing cooperation with the U.S. authorities on Nigeria's security challenges, elections and democracy, was led by Atiku and Assistant Secretary, State Department, Bureau of African Affairs, Molly Fee. The statement asked that the focus of discussions were on the critical need to seek collaborative solutions to local issues on democracy and governance, security and the economy. The meeting secured commitments to support for free and fair elections in Nigeria, an announcement of a sanction policy before the elections to deter anti-democratic forces, and commitments for continued partnership with Nigeria in areas of security and development. The Labour Party has flagged off its presidential campaign in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, with the commitment to address the many challenges facing the country. Achigale Magaji reports that the event witnessed the formal presentation of the party flag to the presidential candidate Peter Obi and his running mate Dati Baba Ahmed.
With party faithful drawn from across the country, the event marks the formal launch of the Labour Party's campaign to contest the 2023 general elections. From speaker to speaker, party officials and candidates reel out the manifesto of the party, ranging from addressing security challenges to infrastructure and revamping the economy. The presidential candidate of the party, Peter Obi, and his running mate appealed to the people to give them a chance in 2023 to build a new Nigeria everyone will be proud of. At a homage to the Emir of Lafia, Justice Mohammed Sidi Baghi appealed for peaceful campaign process and wished the team success. Prayer was offered for peaceful general elections next year. In Lafia, Achigli Magaji, NTA News.
You're watching Weekend File on the NTA. Let's go on a break.
Antigua and Barbuda Chamber of Commerce, in collaboration with Airfield Travels and the government of Antigua, invites you to a 5-day tour of paradise on Earth, a twin island with vast opportunities. Come fly with us to Antigua and Barbuda, an island with 365 beaches, one for each day of the year. This trip offers you government-to-business and business-to-business connections, in addition to fun and access to 11 countries, including the UK and Canada. It is one of the world's most desirable destinations for tourism, business, and investment. It is visa on arrival. Come and have a piece of paradise. Departure is 31st of October 2022 from Lagos to return on the 6th of November 2022. Non-stop flight.
Come fly with us to Antigua and Barbuda.
For participation, contact Airfield Travels, Ogun Plaza, number 16 at Demola Adetukumbo Crescent, Wuse 2, Abuja, on 0703-722-0861 or the Nigeria Antigua and Barbuda Chamber of Commerce, Nikon Plaza, on 0903-334-8847, 0704-026-8875, and +1 647-450-7257.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service welcomes participants to the 7th African Tax Administration Forum, ATAP General Assembly, holding in Lagos with the theme Rethinking Revenue Strategies, the Human Face of Taxation. The General Assembly will bring together delegates from ATAP member countries, development partners, international tax organizations, and various global experts in the field of taxation from the private sector and academia. Issues that will enhance taxation on the African continent will be discussed, including taxation and development, tax as a social contract and civic duty, tax and technology, tax and climate change, tax in the digital economy, human capital in tax administration. Venue is the Marriott Hotel, Lagos. Date 31st of October to the 4th of November 2022. Time 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. Attendance is strictly by invitation. For more information, please visit the ATAP website on www.ataptax.org. Announcer, ATAP 7th General Assembly Local Organizing Committee.
Imo State welcomes Mr. President, IGP, orders for police retreat in Owerri. On behalf of the government and good people of Imo State, His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodinma, the Executive Governor of Imo State, most heartily welcomes Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, to the state for a 3-day national retreat for senior police officers. He also welcomes the Inspector General of Police, Alkali Baba Ahmed, the Police High Command, and other invited guests to the ceremony. As the hospitality capital of the entire Eastern region, Imo is ever ready to host a retreat of this nature, just few months after we hosted the Nigerian Army on a similar exercise. As participants arrive Imo from all parts of the country for this retreat, we assure you that our people are truly glad to have you in our midst. Welcome. Uno Abiala, signed, Chief Cosmos Iwu, Secretary to the Government of Imo State.
It's your money, you don't need to worry. Them no go fit to scam you, and you don't need to bank account. Any transaction you go fit to perform. You don't even need smartphone, no. And you don't need it. Great clean our wallet, check your balance, transfer money. Any service you need, you can bank on it. Yes, you can. Just take your phone and press. In the village, in the city, anywhere where you live. house, they sell a car. Any job where you get it, just know say yes you can. If you want me, yeah, I live sorry, what more is all be sorry. No, carry last oh.
Same Naira, more possibilities.
Where are you bringing that to?
What's that? Do you even know how it was produced?
Madam, we know things are hard. But it is our people that say health is wealth. Don't compromise on quality. Chidi! I know there's a reason why we are friends.
Use power oil. It is triple filtered. It contains omega-6 and omega-9. It's fortified with vitamin A. Plus, it comes in different packs and sizes, so you can afford it without breaking the bank.
My people know the importance of making the right choice.
Oil.
Welcome back. Osaka has again come the way of flood victims in Yobe State as wife of the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate, Senator Oduremi Tinubu, delivered relief materials for distribution to those severely affected in many parts of the state. Yunusa Suleiman brings us the details.
Oluremi Tinubu says she and her team were in Yobe State on the order of the Grand Patron of Tinubu Shetima Women Presidential Campaign Team and First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, to deliver the relief materials to the state government for distribution to victims of flood disaster who lost their means of livelihood.
And we also brought some funds for the women and men that lost their businesses to recapitalize their businesses. So 400 people will be giving funds of 50,000 each to be able to recapitalize their businesses.
The State Commissioner of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Miramshi, who received the relief materials on behalf of the state government, commended the Women Presidential Campaign team for identifying with the flood victims and assured of judicious distribution to the targeted beneficiaries. The team also commiserated with Governor Mema Labuni over the recent flood disaster that ravaged many communities across the state.
We can't thank you enough for this gesture. We really appreciate. Our people are most grateful, and I have to thank you on behalf of the good people of Yobe State for this gesture.
Yobe State government has been mobilizing support and resources from national and international humanitarian organizations aimed at responding to the needs of flood victims in the state. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a story building harboring flood victims at Aya in Ibaji local government area of Kogi State has collapsed, leaving 5 dead and over 30 injured. Correspondent Usman Gambo visited the scene of the incident.
The flood in parts of Kogi State may be receding, but the aftermath remains. The building collapse in Aya, Ibaji local government area, is one of sad tales by flood victims rendered homeless and taking shelter anywhere possible. Eyewitness account points to a compromised foundation of the building as a result of the flood. This, they fear, may affect many more structures in the area.
Never expected such destruction on our people. The flood this year has taught us a lot of lessons.
I'm trying to beg government that they should come to our aid, especially Ibaji.
Some of the injured are receiving medical attention at the Ida Zona Hospital.
We were told that it was the building collapse. Immediately we responded into action with emergency medication. We started the treatment. But at this moment, all of them are stable.
Chairman of Ibaji Local Government Council, Williams Iko Ojo, appealed to federal and state emergency management agencies to come to their aid.
The government has directed that we should know what it takes to treat them and how to arrange the burial. Use that. For now, that's so concerning the collapse of the building, what we can do will depend after the water incident.
The plight of flood victims in the area calls for assistance from members of the public. From Ibaji, Kogi State, Osman Gambo, NTA News.
Now, in the response to claims by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, that her ministry was not carried along by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, in the ongoing process of redesigning 3 series of the Naira, the bank insists it followed the law and due process to carry out the exercise, which is 12 years due. Speaking with a group of newsmen in Abuja on Friday, the spokesman of the CBN, Mr. Ositanwa Andisiobi, expressed surprise at the minister's claim, stressing that the CBN remains a very thorough institution that follows due process in its policy actions. According to Wandisobi, the management of the CBN, in line with provisions of the CBN Act 2007, had duly sought and obtained the approval of President Muhammadu Buhari in writing to redesign, produce, release, and circulate a new series of 200, 500, and 1,000 Naira banknotes. President Muhammadu Buhari rejoices with the family, friends, and relations of Reverend Austin Epunam as the social worker, businessman, and publisher turns 60. The president appreciates the grace of God upon the life of the Ndiaku Otolo Newi-born cleric in Nnewi North local government area of Anambra State, applauding him for his crusade in dissuading young people from irregular migration through his non-governmental organization, Sweet Home Africa. President Buhari also lauds the commitment of the Epunam to the crusade against the breast and cervical cancers, which it takes around the country and beyond. You're on to Weekend File. Time for another break. To stay tuned.
Taxation, at the end of the day, is to be able, is for the government to be able to provide certain goods and services that are usually called pure public goods that can only be provided by government. So one of the most important functions of government is maintaining law and order, providing property rights, ensuring Nigeria is fully represented in the community of other countries. And because of this, obviously, you need money to do these things. So how does government get money? It is through taxation.
They say nothing good comes easy, but with determination and sheer focus, Boa Foods finds new ways to put food on many plates. We produce competitively priced sugar, flour, and pasta that are highly sought after by our corporate and trade partners. At Boa Foods, we remain committed to lead with purpose and make a difference by embracing the responsibility to meet Africa's growing food demand. We dare to lead, so can you. Boa Foods, nourishing lives.
The Nigerian Television Authority NTA, in collaboration with Havel Corporate Concept, presents Beyond the Debate, a series for all the 18 presidential candidates in the 2023 general elections to present their manifestos and visions to the Nigerian public as a social contract. Beyond the Debate will broadcast live on the network service of the NTA and stream on YouTube and other social media platforms beginning from 10th November 2022. The publicly signed manifestos by the candidates will be uploaded on this portal, www.summitofpoliticalparties.org. For further inquiries, please contact Dr. Badanga 08033173488, Howard 08033121022.
My son Aiden wants to be a great actor like you.
How did I do? You did great.
A couple of years ago is when his acting began.
Think you can play?
Yes.
Catch.
I take him to auditions and give him Twister, our family favorite. With the right support, my boy is going to be a great actor.
You got the role.
Give your kids Twisco to support their big dream. Twisco, power your dream.
You show me love. You show me, no matter what I show you. You show me love. You show me love.
Joey, please listen.
Please, I don't want to talk.
Joey, just give me one chance.
Now prepare the food where I shop now. It's different. Sure, you go make am for me tomorrow again. No. Now you go dey prepare my food from now on.
Mr. Chef Spices Cube, they available for different pack sizes. Try them today. It's different.
I've got bad news. Only 2 mini noodles left. Relax. We are going to play a game to it. It's going to be fun. Food is ready, yo. All right, guys, come. Okay, guys, this is how we play this game. I'll spend the night. It ends on you. You eat.
Mini-me, taste the fun.
Thank you for staying with us on Weekend File. We begin this segment with the various security challenges currently facing the country and efforts by the security agencies to defeat the enemies of state. Let's now hear from Defense Correspondent Ismail Musa.
Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory and its environs, was in the eye of the storm at a period the nation was faced with heightened security threats of banditry and kidnapping. From the southern axis of Abuja, Kuje Custodial Center attack, University of Abuja abduction earlier in the year, the Presidential Gas Brigade attack in Buhari, and the Abuja-Kaduna bound train attack, as well as increased in kidnapping of commuters, students and farmers in the north central and northwest, are cases of one too many.
At no time in history have the resources and capacity of the Nigerian army been so overtaxed and stretched as is the case at the moment.
Disturbed by this high wave of security breach, President Muhammadu Buhari issued a marching order to the military and other security agencies to stem these threats before the end of 2022. The clock is fast ticking, less than 65 days to go. What is the outlook?
The strategy of engagement has changed, and we are happy with the results we are getting.
In attaining the crucial presidential mandate, the military and paramilitary introduced and upscaled different operations in troubled areas.
I can tell you confidently that in the Northwest, the level of successes that we've been recording day in, day out is unprecedented. There have been palpable fears in the camps of most of these so-called terrorists, the remaining terrorists and so-called leaders. And the obvious fear emanates from the fact that the precise nature of our strikes is really getting them scared, and they're looking for other places to go and hide.
Regular patrol on different routes to smoke out criminals from their cells, strengthened by enhanced synergy among security agencies and state governments on the common goal.
Security forces, the federal forces cannot be everywhere. What is the average person doing? You need to educate the people to own up to the crime, to realize part of them, to realize the community effort is what will solve the problem. Then you can be on top of the situation.
These measures are paying off. Several criminals arrested, others sent to the world beyond.
The security agencies have stepped up their game to make sure that these activities of these criminals are seriously dealt with. And as we speak today, kidnapping has come down drastically in the territory.
The public is enjoined to support the security agencies with intelligence gathering to facilitate proactive operations. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, security operatives in Kaduna State and some parts of Northwest ravaged by banditry and kidnapping are winning the war against terrorists, as they have succeeded in clearing sizable percentage of kidnappers' dens spread in these affected areas. Suleiman Rigachukwu reports that normalcy has returned to some communities which were inaccessible due to kidnapping and banditry.
Kaduna being an intersection with routes linking to some parts of states prone to security challenges like Katsina, Zamfara, and Niger states, has been grappling with emerging security challenges of kidnapping and banditry, necessitating single and joint service operations to deal with the challenge. Kaduna Abuja Highway and Kaduna Birnungwari Road, among other areas of Giwa, Igabi, and Chiku local governments, have been front lines with bandits and kidnappers having their field day. Before now, these areas were highly inaccessible, with communities resorting to self-help to secure their environment. What compounded the problem was the activities of informants were more in the society. They supplied these criminals with information about their victims. Kaduna State government released staggering figures of abductions of several thousand of victims, with millions of naira paid as ransom. Some victims who were not lucky were killed by their abductors. Federal government has to adopt stringent security measures to decimate these criminal elements. Joint operations of the armed forces, most notable of Operation Safe Haven in the southern axis of the state, Police Operation Pop Ada, Operation Hadarin Daji, and Taimakuyazo of the Air Force, and recently the ongoing joint operation No Mercy, are yielding positive results in decimating the miscreants in their hideout.
Nigerian Army and other security agencies and other armed forces are closing up. The synergy, the jointness is coming to realism.
Kaduna Birnungwari, Kaduna Abuja roads are now free for vehicular movements following the sustained onslaught by the combined forces.
Our people have been cooperating from the traditional institutions, the religious leaders, youth, and other stakeholders.
They are escaping. We need some other troops to be either neighbors on the left or neighbors on the right, and so on, so to block the escape route as well.
Kaduna State government, in synergy with security agencies and traditional rulers, Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs Samuel Arwan said, is giving priority to local policing for intelligence gathering and fighting the remnants of the terrorists.
What we are running here is security participatory management, where everybody is involved. You need human intelligence. You need active involvement of members of the general public. And I also want to use this opportunity to clarify this issue. It is not true that the traditional institutions in Kaduna State are not involved. They are indeed critical stakeholder in the security architecture of the state.
As defense and security forces sustain the attack in response to presidential directive of ending insecurity problems, security agencies are calling on Nigerians to support the campaign with useful information on the activities of miscreants aiding criminality for prompt response. Suleiman Gachikun, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has assured Nigerians of adequate security as security agencies work around the clock to ensure safety of lives and property. This is coming against the background of security alerts issued by some foreign countries to their nationals in Nigeria. The president urges citizens not to panic but remain calm, as Nigeria is no exception to having terror threats listed in foreign governments' travel advisory to citizens. The president's statements also pointed out a high likelihood of terror attacks in many Western and European nations, and the advice to their respective citizens for travel contains same warning. While urging security agencies to be extra vigilant, President Buhari commends their efforts for the recent turnaround in the nation's security and advises them not to let down their guard as the festive period approaches. He expressed optimism that the nation will emerge victorious against the current challenges following ongoing efforts of security and intelligence agencies with the active support of the civilian population. Joining us live in the studio now is Dr. Kabir Adamu, a security expert, founder and managing director of Beacon Consulting Limited. You're welcome to Weekend File.
Thank you very much.
Would you, in your expert and informed opinion, tell us exactly where we are in security challenges in terms of the nation's security architecture, fighting and winning the war?
So just like your correspondent here in Abuja and then in Kaduna covered both the FCT Abuja as well as the northwest of the country, it appears after the attack in Kuje, we've seen a massive change in the approach to security. The three basic components of a good security architecture, techniques, tactics, and procedures have been improved almost massively. We've also seen an improvement in synergy. I think around early August, a new operation was launched by the military, in particular in the Northwest, called Operation Forest Sanity. And that is novel. That operation is going after both bandits and terrorists in their enclaves. We didn't have that in the past. And as a result of that operation, we've seen several leadership of these either gunmen gangs or terrorist gangs. They've been taken out, they've been killed. So remarkable improvement. But beside that remarkable improvement, unfortunately, the number of persons being killed is still worrisome. And I run a consultancy. We keep a figure of that. In the month of September, about 800 persons were killed. From January to September, we have about 8,900 persons being killed. So the numbers are still high, but I'm very optimistic that if the security forces, the military and the other civilian security department sustain what they started from July through August and into September, and then the month that we're in, we're likely to see a massive reduction in the number of fatalities.
Now, in the course of the week, there was this alert on FCT in terms of security challenges from the US and some other Western countries. What do you make of that?
They have a statutory responsibility to their citizens to make known to their citizens any intelligence that they become available to them. However, they also have a responsibility, since they are a friendly country. We have liaison arrangements between us and them to share that intelligence with us. Now, immediately after that announcement, there have been a massive reaction. The hospitality industry is suffering. A lot of conferences that were supposed to be held in Abuja have been cancelled, and that is not what a friendly ally should do to its ally. So to that extent, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm also a little bit worried about the reaction of other, especially Western embassies. They've also released the same alert. They've revised their travel advisory. Now, if they have intelligence that suggests an imminent attack, the onus is on them to share it with Nigerians. But at the same time, I'm also very happy with some of the, I would say, baby steps I've seen being taken by the Nigerian security forces. If you move around Abuja, you would see that there is an improvement in the security posture. Perhaps in the course of the discussion, I have additional advice that I can give the security agencies as well as corporate organizations and then individuals like you and I.
We would like to hear that advice.
So there are two major components in terrorism. What is called counter-terrorism, that is usually being implemented by government. And we are doing, I would say, quite well in that. We have a national counter-terrorism strategy. So I'll call on the Office of the National Security Advisor and the other about 26 MDAs, ministries, departments and agencies that are involved in the implementation of that counter-terrorism strategy to have a review and see how they can improve on that implementation. Now, the second one is what is called anti-terrorism. Now, anti-terrorism is implemented by corporate organizations as well as individuals. How do you prevent your environment from being affected by terrorism? So at the gate, what kind of hostile measures do you put in place in case a terrorist, suicide bomber is coming with a car loaded with bomb? How do you prevent that car from coming into your premises? All of that are components of anti-terrorism, and there are 4 layers of that. The first one is the ability to detect when the terrorist is coming. The second one is the ability to deny him entrance into your compound. The third one is the ability to delay him entrance, because during that delay, the fourth one will happen. That is the response. So every person listening to this should try to have those 4 layers. If you are a corporate body and your premises in Abuja, make sure you have all of these 4. If you are an individual, a family member, please try to have all of that 4. If it's something you can't do, reach out to organizations like mine. We'll be happy to help. I will also urge the public security departments like the Office of the National Security Advisor, the SSS, the police, to go out and help, especially public places, malls, supermarkets, markets, to deploy these 4 aspects that I've mentioned. Sometimes this knowledge can be put on website. We can print little booklets and distribute. All of that should be components of our counter-terrorism strategy.
All right. The Nigerian police force has also gone ahead to allay the fears of Abuja residents, that's talking about the Federal Capital Territory, that Abuja is now saturated with bombs. Now, what they're trying to say is that these things are fake news. Now, how does that go, in terms of further letting the citizens know that all is well?
Well, that is the first step. Truth be told is we're dealing with fake news. We're in an era of data. Social media is not helping matters. I've spent the most of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and to an extent today, Saturday, dealing with that fake news from morning till evening. And some of the fake news is so ridiculous. So we should be a step ahead. We should be announcing our activities more than the fake news is out there, so that people tend to hear us more than they hear the fake news. The challenge is that in the social media, there are different components of spreading fake news. There are even bots. The bot will just identify one word. So, for instance, bomb, and before you know it, they will start circulating that news faster than what a human being can do. So we need to also take those steps, take a step of, ahead of this proponents of fake news, as it were, so that the original and genuine news is more than the fake news. That is when I think individuals would now believe the corporate organizations. And because there are several government departments that are involved in the distribution of information, and that's why I must commend you for providing this space to talk to Nigerians. Other parts of government, orientation agency as an example, the Ministry of Information should also play that role, so that we have more channels and avenues that are spreading the genuine news as against those that are spreading the fake news. Social media platforms are very important, especially to our youths. We need to find the right channel of communication that will go to our youths, so that, because most times they're the ones who spread this fake news. Sometimes, unknowingly, they are on Twitter, they are on TikTok, they see something, it makes them apprehensive.
Or even for mischief.
Yeah, and then of course there are some for mischief. Don't forget that we're in the political season, and security is going to determine the outcome of the 2023 elections. So some are doing it for mischief, because of course certainly they know that the discussion around security would hold sway as the campaign goes in. So we need to counter that.
All right. We're discussing security issues in Nigeria at the moment, and of course, how to improve upon the gains recorded so far. Of course, you're watching Weekend File on the NTA. Let's go on break once more.
The 35th National Festival of Arts and Culture, Ekona Fest 2022, with the theme Culture and Peaceful Coexistence, holds from Monday the 7th to Sunday 13th November 2022 at the National Stadium, National Institute for Sports, Lagos State. Time 10 a.m. daily. The official opening ceremony will take place on Wednesday 9th November 2022. Time 11 a.m. Venue Mobolaji Johnson Arena, formerly Onikon Stadium, Lagos State. Ekona Fest 2022, promoting culture and peaceful coexistence. Otumba Olusegun Urushewe, OON, Chairman, National Festival Planning Committee, Announcer. Media partners: NTA, AIT, LTV, FRCN, Eagle 7, Sports Radio, and Discon Television.
Good morning, Nigeria. Year after year, they have been taught, educated, and entertained of. When you needed information, knowledge, or an escape.
Generation to generation, the Nigerian broadcasting industry has worked tirelessly to serve you.
And now, this service will finally be recognized. Right? This November, broadcasters all over Nigeria will gather for the maiden edition of the Nigerian Broadcasting Awards, an award ceremony set to reward hard work and unflinching excellence in the broadcast media. They have served and are still serving. It's time to say thank you. This award is organized by the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON. For more details, log on to www.tnawards.ng and follow our social media handles at TNP Awards.
Welcome back. Of course, we're still discussing with Dr. Kabir Adamu, a security expert. Let's get your closing remarks on the discussion, because security is important to all of us.
Given the strategic importance of Nigeria, both in West Africa, in the African continent, and in the world as a whole, I think this is the time that our partners should rise up and show to us that they are actually our partners. This whole thing started with an alert from the U.S. Embassy in Abuja. I think they need to release follow-up statements to help ease this tension that is in Abuja at the moment. It's not in anybody's interest for this tension to continue as a whole. Then for the FCT minister, I talked about 4 things. I would urge that ministry to start implementing those 4 things. There are several organizations, including mine, that will be happy to help in the implementation of that. I live here, my family lives here. It's in my interest. And lastly, I think every Nigerian, every resident of Abuja needs to key into this. Intelligence is grassroots. If we see something,
you say something.
But then the security department need to provide a viable platform for us to go and say something.
I want to thank you for coming on Weekend File tonight.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
Indeed. We just spoke with Dr. Kabir Adamu, security expert, founder and managing director, Beacon Consulting Limited. Let's now bring you a sports update.
Nigeria's under-23 Olympics football team Saturday evening defeated Tanzania's under-23 side by 2-0 in the second leg of the Olympic qualifiers at the Lekon Salami Stadium, Ibadan. With the result, the Olympic Eagles qualified for the next stage of the qualifiers with a 3-1 aggregate victory and will now face either Guinea or Uganda next. In women's football, Nigeria's representative in the CAF Women's Champions League, Bayelsa Queens, and now in Marrakech, Morocco, for the 2022 tournament. After spending almost a week in the capital, Casablanca, the Nigerian Women Football League champions, who are also the WAFU Zone B champions, played a series of warm-up games in Casablanca before departing to Marrakech on Friday. The Prosperity Ladies will face Mamelodi Sundowns in their opening game on Monday. The Confederation of African Football (CAF) has reopened the bidding process for the hosting right of the 2025 African Cup of Nations. The continent's soccer governing body has already sent a notice to member associations to express interest in hosting the competition. The deadline for the submission of the declaration of interest is November 11. In volleyball, Spartan Spikers of Yola and Chief of Naval Staff Spikers emerged champions of the 2022 National Division 1 Volleyball League in the men and women's categories on Friday. Spartan Spikers of Yola and Nigerian Immigration Services have gained promotion to the Nigerian Volleyball League in the men's category, while the Chief of Naval Staff Spikers and Lifecamp VC of Abuja have both gotten promotion to the Volleyball Premier League.
Our vision has come to fulfillment that today Nigeria can raise 3 to 4 under 19.
In para sports, 2 Nigerian power lifters, Roland Ezurike and Bosse Bejide, have won gold and silver medals in the 51 kilogram class and 50 kilogram categories at the ongoing Powerlifting African Open Championship in Cairo, Egypt. The feat is a new record set by the athletes. For the Nigerian Powerlifting Federation, this will enable the powerlifters compete in the second stage of the qualifiers for the 2024 Olympics in Paris. With sports update, Gift George, NTA News.
Let's now check out the outlook for tomorrow's weather.
Thanks for joining us. My name is Joyce Ogunleye. The atmospheric condition across the north and central parts of the country is not expected to be any different from the prevailing weather, which is sunny and hazy atmosphere. However, the inland cities and the coastal belts of the country are expected to have a cloudy morning with sunshine intervals, although there are slim prospects for thunderstorms to parts of Akwa Ibom in the morning. But in the afternoon, there are prospects for thunderstorms to parts of Abia, Edo, Imo, some parts of Ondo and Osun State. And this should also extend to parts of coastal cities of Lagos, Bayelsa, Cross River, Rivers and Akwa Ibom State. Now let's see the air quality index forecast for Sunday. I am Joyce Ogunleye.
We'd like to thank you for keeping us company on Weekend File tonight on the NTA. And of course, do remember to join us in the fight against rape and the rapists. I am Kenen Ima Aborikem. Good night.